Hello and welcome to our Nigerian viewers and viewers across the world. This is Galaxy TV News. Let's get things started. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, summons chief judges of 6 states over conflicting decisions. Plus of the news, Department of State Services DSS releases 8 of the 12 detained associates of pro-Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho. Outside Nigeria, several rockets fired at Kabul's international airport a day before the deadline for U.S. troops to pull out of Afghanistan ends. We have details in just a moment. And now, wherever you're watching from around the world, we are live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. On our first story, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed deep sorrow following the killing of Captain Abdul Karim, the first son of Senator Bala Na'ala in Kaduna State. In a statement issued by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, President Buhari said the death of Abdul Karim is another tragic chapter in the current security challenges, but reassured Nigerians that his commitment to protect the lives and property of all Nigerians remains unwavering. The president said he was saddened by the tragic loss of Abdul Karim and other victims of violence, appealing to Nigerians to help security agencies with intelligence in order to track down and bring the terrorists to justice. According to the president, human intelligence is essential to the effort to defeat criminals across the country. Away from security matters, the Chief Justice of Nigeria and Chairman of the National Judicial Commission, Justice Tanko Muhammad, has summoned the chief judges of 6 states over the conflicting decisions given by court of coordinate jurisdiction. The chief judges summoned are those of Rivers, Kebbi, Cross River, Anambra, Jigawa, and Imo State. The summons sent to the chief judges read that, quote, it had become expedient for the invite to the judges for a detailed briefing on the development, which is even more compelling having regard to earlier NJC warnings to judicial officers on the need to be circumspect in granting ex parte applications. However, there has been no information on the date the summoned judges will meet with the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Still tracking legal stories, and Oyo State High Court has rejected the move by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami to vacate the interim order granted to Yoruba activist Sunday Igboho. Malami, through his counsel Simeon Enoch, at the hearing of the case instituted by the Yoruba activist on Monday, informed the court of an application seeking the leave of the court to vacate the order. Correspondent Kunlojo reports that the presiding judge, Justice Oladiro Akintola, said granting the application would render all actions taken so far on the matter invalid. All attempts to get the reactions of counsel to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Simeon Enoch and counsel to the Department of State Security Services to the proceedings failed as they hurriedly left the court. Now, counsel to the Yoruba activist Yomi Aliyu SAN accused the Attorney General of playing pranks.
We expect it. I don't see them responding to any process, but it is presumed in law that when you are served, certain days must be given to you to look at what is served on you and whether there's possibility of your response or not. The court will give you what is due to you, and that is 5 days, which they have been given.
He also accused the Department of State Security Services of tampering with the judgment of an Abuja court which ordered the release of the aid to the Yoruba activist.
Not here concerned with what is happening here. We are mostly concerned with what is happening in Abuja, when a court of law ordered that 12 people should be released, and the DSS is sitting on that judgment. I think I made a press release, and I reminded the leader of DSS that he should learn from Magu that if you think you are in authority today, tomorrow you may find yourself in the same trap you made for your enemy.
In the meantime, the Department of State Services DSS has released 8 of the 12 detained associates of Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Igboho. Galaxy's Godfrey Shemogi reports that the release comes on the heels of a 48-hour deadline handed to the security agency Friday by lawyer of the 12, Belumi Olajengbesi. The lawyer who disclosed that the 8 were released Monday morning said 4 of the 12 are still in DSS custody due to some technical issues that need some sorting out.
There's a particular 8 of them that the SSS did not challenge their bill. Now, 6 out of the 8 are here. Now, the 4 that SSS challenged their bill, and as a matter of fact, filed an appeal against the court's order. 2 of them are here. So out of the 4, we have 2 persons here. The first person is Abidin Shitu and Olamidele Sunday. Bamidele Sunday. So out of the 4 that the SSS refused or opposed their bill, 2 of them are out already.
He told the media that it is too early to conclude that the DSS is intentionally keeping the 4 in their custody despite having all conditions for their release met.
And so if we rectify what we need to do and they don't release them then, but now we do not want to accuse SSS of any bias until they prove otherwise going further. While we also have other cases against them, particularly as to the killing of 2 innocent persons in Chief Sunday Igboho's house.
The 12 associates of Sunday Adeyemo were arrested after a raid on his Ibadan home on the 1st of July by a combined team of security operatives, including the army. And now tracking other stories, the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed 14 September for hearing of 2 suits over who should run for the chairmanship of the Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The Galaxy's Godfrey Shemogi reports that incumbent chairman of the Area Council, John Shekwagaza of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is one of those caught up in the litigation ahead of the area's council election scheduled for February of 2022. Details in this report.
On the PDP side, one Hassan Zakari sued John Shekwagaza, his running mate Aminu Musa, alongside the party and INEC, claiming they manipulated the electoral process to favor preferred aspirants in the primaries conducted April 2021. The plaintiff is also alleging that the main defendant is not qualified to contest the PDP primaries on account of knowingly submitting forged educational documents, contrary to sections 106, 107, and section 31 subsection 5 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. But counsel to the main defendant in the suit insists the plaintiff is not a member of the PDP, thus stripping him of all rights to file such a matter.
Chairmanship candidate of the PDP and his vice, if you look at their own, it's very clear that they claim that they went to various schools and submitted documents to that effect. But we have come up to prove the fact that they are lying. They did not go to school, and they claim they go to school. For instance, the candidate who claimed that he went to a primary school, he has primary school leaving certificate. On the certificate that he submitted, the admission number is clearly stated. On the admission list, the registrar of admission in the school, which we have attached to our process, the name of the person on the admission list is different. How can you not say you had admission? And then he claimed that no, his name is somewhere else.
We are contending that not being an aspirant or a political party, he has no local standing to fight against. He's just a busybody. He's not even a member of the party. Any of the party? No. He said he's just an interested person, according to him.
In the second suit, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdul of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has equally sued one Audi Shekolo along with the APC and INEC. The plaintiff here is accusing the defendants of contesting the primaries without first resigning his position as a civil servant in Buhari Area Council.
By the Electoral Act, is supposed to resign his appointment as a civil servant working with the Buhari Area Council, an appointment that was given to him by the Area Council Service Commission 30 days before participating in the election. Now, he resigned his appointment within the period of 2 weeks and started participating in the election. That is one of our grounds challenging him, that is not qualified to contest this election because he did not resign. If you look at the processes, the council to APC has filed. He is saying that Sekoza Haruna refunded 1 month's salary in lieu of notice. If you look at the Electoral Act, it's very clear. There is nothing like 1 month's salary in lieu of notice.
As far as we are concerned, we have documentary evidence to show that our candidate resigned. He resigned, and there are documents to that effect. So we believe the action is just a frivolous action, file, calculated to, we believe a political party is behind, another political party is behind this action.
Meanwhile, the presiding judge, Obiora Eguatu, has fixed Tuesday, September 14th for hearing of both matters. Godfrey Eshamuge, Galaxy News, Abuja.
You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. We're due for a break, but in the second part, Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed says reopening of borders responsible for the growth of Nigerian gross domestic product. We will tell you more on the other side. Stay with us. We're back in just a moment. Well, good to have you back. For more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp Special Story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. And now to other stories. It has been less than a year since the Academic Staff Union of Universities embarked on strike. With most of their demands unmet, the union has threatened to embark on a fresh strike. But what plans does ASUU have if the federal government fails to keep their own part of the agreement? Galaxy's Valerie Choma tells us in this report.
The Association of Resident Doctors have been on strike for almost a month. And now, the Academic Staff Union of Universities have threatened to follow suit if the federal government does not meet their demands. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has given the federal government till Tuesday, 31st of August, to reach out or it will activate the procedure of embarking on strike. Worried by the growth underfunding of Nigerian universities, the chairman of ASUU UNILAC chapter, Dr. Dele Ashiru, says the federal government is only making a mockery of the citadels of knowledge. He added that ASUU is ready to embark on another round of industrial action if the federal government fails to implement the agreement signed with the union, adding that lecturers are being owed salaries.
We are being owed arrears of earned academic allowances amounting to several months. As part of the memorandum of action, government promised to release in 4 tranches the earned academic allowances. The last one was due in May this year. Between May and now, government has not, paid us our arrears of allowances.
Every society that wants progress must take seriously the education of its citizens. ASU says the federal government does not prioritize the education of its young citizens, and that is why the union has a number of demands that have not been met by them. According to Ashiru, the federal government and ASU signed an agreement aimed at resolving some of the demands of ASU, a development that led to the suspension of the strike on the 24th of December 2020. However, ASU is now saying that nothing has been implemented, adding that the union is ready to embark on another round of industrial action if the federal government fails to implement the agreement signed with them.
Since government said it's going to meet us at the end of the month, and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, is 31st of August. So if by midnight tomorrow, government is still for dragging about committing to what it had freely signed, freely agreed, our union may have no choice but to meet at an emergency National Executive Council meeting and take further decisions as appropriate.
With the government, Valerie Chioma, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Let's stay with industrial action for a moment as the doctors' strike enters day 29. The Association of Resident Doctors, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, says there are no plans to end the strike until the government meet their demands. Recall that the federal government had instructed all major tertiary health institutions where resident doctors are currently on strike to implement the no work, no pay rule beginning from August 2, where the nationwide industrial actions commenced. But the striking doctors have insisted that the government's hard stance would not force them to suspend its almost 1 month-old strike. Now, speaking to Galaxy's Valerie Chioma, the General Secretary of ARD, LASUTH, Dr. Salmon Habib says the government is yet to meet up with their demands, and therefore it would be inappropriate to threaten them with a no work, no pay policy.
People have worked and you didn't pay them, and you are still saying no work, no pay. So if there is no work, no pay, so what of there is work, no pay? So I think we need to understand the situation where we are so that we can know what we are going to do. So as far as we are doctors, as far as we are together, as far as what we are fighting for is not our selfish interest, just just to improve the healthcare service delivery in Nigeria. That's the reason why we are fighting. So the issue of no work, no pay should not even come. So the association stand is that is not going to stand. That is not going to stand. To me, if government should do it, it's as if they just still want to put salt on injury or of resident doctors. So you cannot say no work, no pay.
And Nigeria's economy gets our attention next as the country recorded its first gross domestic product growth rate in 6 years by 5% in the second quarter of 2021. The last time Nigeria recorded real GDP growth was in the fourth quarter of 2014, when the economy grew by 5.94%. Minister of Finance, Budget and Planning, Zainab Ahmedin of the Borders and the Economy, which resulted in the improvement in the entire economy, were the major reasons for increase in the GDP growth.
This is the strongest growth of GDP that the economy has recorded since the fourth quarter of 2014. The 2021 second quarter growth reflects much better economic performance compared to the same quarter last year, and the second quarter last year, if you recall, we had a negative growth of minus 6.10%.
Has been affected by COVID-19, not just in the area of medicine or healthcare. And every government in the world has divided and has devised systems and strategies.
Also speaking, Statistician General of the National Bureau of Statistics, Simon Harry, reaffirmed that 42 out of the 46 sectors of the economy expanded, thereby contributing tremendously to the growth of the GDP.
that is happening now, and from the improvement in the funding of government business, I think there is hope that the third quarter of this year certainly is going to record a very tremendous improvement.
Nigeria had almost 5 quarters of negative GDP growth. Then we went into a recession in 2016. Thereafter, we've had 17 quarters of positive GDP growth until the pandemic came in.
And now to security issues. Military men in Imo State apprehended some members of the IPOB and ASN who were snatching cars in the state. This is coming after the military got a tip-off and took to action. A correspondent gathered that 3 persons were gunned down in a gun battle as the cars were recovered. We have details in this report, but we must warn you that these images are very disturbing.
In view of the determination to end banditry, especially the ungodly activities of the IPOB-ASN in Imo State and its environs, the joint military operations by the men and officers of 34 Artillery Brigade Umbinze 211 Quick Response Group and the Navy Owerenta on Monday successfully repelled the group of armed men who stormed to disturb the peace of communities in Ungong-Pala local government area of the state. Upon tip-off, the military operative responded and intercepted them at Umunyiwere Umuowa community at Ungong-Pala local government area of the state. According to the military, 3 of them were gunned down in a gun duel, and the snatched car, including 1 mini SUV Toyota RAV4, which they came with, were recovered. The service chiefs in the state who were at the scene for the on-the-spot assessment took out time to address the residents on the need to guide their communities from criminal elements. They discouraged the idea of sitting at home on Monday while assuring residents of their ever-gallant presence to respond promptly at any given time. They further gave out emergency numbers to members of the community, asking them to call immediately whenever they see or hear any issue of security threat in their localities.
Vigilant, work with us. Work with here to solve the problem. Those are the people that want to do the problem. Don't be more to the most. Don't go to the most. Oh, please. We have to do this thing together. We are not doing it. And you are the ones that are in the community. You know the bad people amongst you. You know the visitors amongst you that are not welcome. So it's your responsibility. You see a strange face. Nobody say you should confront them. This man, you are seeing movement. Finish, just like they do this man. Somebody should. And they acted promptly and so later, this bush, we believe some of them will some of them, you will still see some dead bodies inside because we engage them.
Some of the residents Chika Eke in Amafo community at about 6 a.m. Monday morning. They went on shooting sporadically in the community and stopped by filling station where they claimed to enforce sit-at-home order. They assaulted the pump attendants on duty, snatched their phones, and all the money he had on him.
Like you say, where is the car? You keep this car. Oh, I say my car. I say, where is the key? Before he said, I will kill you, I will shoot you. That's how I call it. Before I know it, I said, okay, the key is in the house. So much as I'm breathing. As I come to leave, one of them told me, then tell me I follow, carry the key. Before I know it, the bring to the list, gone, anyhow. So people in our couple, all of them begin to shift.
Since ever they have come to that junction, at least we are, security-wise, we have been very happy. Although they have been helping us so much, you know, and we move freely from where they are not embarrassing us. So far we cooperate with them. Whatever we sell, we sell them, and then they will help us as well. So we don't want a bad name in our community.
In his confessional statement, one of the assailants in a near-death condition identified himself as Chigoze Odimene, a native of Umubi Oparanadim community in Ayazu Mbise local government area of Imo State, and is already deadly brother as Ebuka Anyanwu of same community. He regretted not listening to his mother, who a night before had a terrible dream and asked him not to go out.
I no go lie you, but you no go believe. I won't talk my mind.
Talk now, no talk. I go believe.
Sir, I did do IPOB something before, but if any Monday I dey work from my side, they do lockdown, say no movement for today. These people come say we no go walk from my side again. If you go my side, if you ask people, they go tell you.
Let him be your name.
Chigozie.
Chigozie. Your name.
Chigozie Odemena.
Okay. Okay.
They say we go out, go walk. Now them carry me come here. I don't know say na car. They won't come carry. I don't know say na car. I don't know say na car.
Though Chigozie was said to have given up the ghost shortly after his confessional statement, the military said they are on the lookout for the remaining one who escaped into the bush with bullet wounds. They confirmed that he had one AK-47 rifle with him. Recovered items for the operation include 2 vehicles, 2 locally made pistols, 5 extended bullet shells, hard drugs, charms, 2 car plate numbers suspected to have been removed from the Toyota RAV4, among other dangerous weapons. The military, however, reiterated their commitment in ensuring that the state is free from banditry and every other act of criminality.
A really very disturbing video. Now, in Kaduna State, the government has directed the suspension of weekly markets in Birnin Gwari, Chikun, Giwa, Igabi, and Kaju local government areas. In a statement signed by Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, he said after a thorough review of the security situation and recommendations put forward by the security agencies, the government also banned the selling of petrol and jerry cans within and outside premises of petrol stations in the 5 local government areas listed with immediate effect. Security officers were also directed to ensure compliance with the directives. The Kaduna State government also appealed to residents to cooperate with the government as necessary steps are taken against banditry and criminality across Kaduna State. In Benue State, the governor, Samuel Otom, has expressed disappointment with the leader of the Benue All Progressive Congress, Senator George Akume, who is the Minister of Interior, and followers for attacking him instead of addressing issues. The governor made this known while addressing a stakeholders meeting which cuts across political divides, professionals, academia, traditional and religious leaders. Among others, at the government house, Makurdi, where the APC was absent despite invitation extended to them. Governor Tongwood took a swipe at the Benue APC leaders who ran to Abuja to castigate him and his government following the response on his interview on the failure of the APC-led federal government, however, challenged the presidency to call out where he has insulted the president.
I want to let you know that I have not done anything wrong. And I challenge the presidency to tell me where I have insulted Mr. President. I challenge the presidency to tell me where I have done anything wrong by pointing out to Mr. President what I feel that is not right. And recommendations on how we can get it right. And I'm a peaceful man. I'm not just a Christian, I'm a born-again Christian. And I believe in peace.
The Benue State governor further maintained that he has always stood for the truth and well-being of Nigeria, stating that if the presidency had listened to his recommendations, Nigeria would not have gotten to this stage. Now, as part of efforts to ensure the Nigeria police effectively discharges and carry out their responsibility without human rights violations and abuses in Benue State with the passage of the administration of criminal justice law in the state, the Nigerian Bar Association NBA Makurdi branch chairman, Justice Gbagi, in collaboration with the Justice Right Initiative, presented over 100 booklets titled The Role of the Police in the Administration of Justice in Nigeria, with Benue State in focus, to the State Police Commissioner, Tunji Akimbola. The NBA Makurdi chairman said the effort is aimed at ensuring that most police officers understand their responsibilities and time to time make reference to it so as to avoid human rights infractions in the police and other security agencies.
One of the objectives of the administration of criminal justice law was also to reduce the incidence of infractions on human rights of victims or suspects by the police. Most of the provisions of the administration of criminal justice law that has to do with the police are to ensure that the rights of the victims or suspects are protected in the course of carrying out their work.
Now, the police commissioner who resumed office a few weeks ago emphasized that the role of citizens in the police and nation building cannot be downplayed, just as he commended the singular effort of the NBA chairman and other collaborative partners for their presentation, assuring that the copies will be distributed to police officers under the command.
For you to have taken this sole initiative, which is very, very commendable, and I assure you, we will not only distribute it to our officers. If the opportunity comes, we will even invite you to come and, review the pamphlet page by page and teach them on what exactly is expected of them.
Now, away from Benue State, residents of Graceland Estate, Ukiala area of Akure, the Ondo State capital, protested to the State Business Office of the Benin Electricity Distribution Company to lament what they termed crazy estimated billings. Armed with placards with different inscriptions, the aggrieved residents said they are tired of extortion from the electricity provider. They accused the BEDC of only interested in collecting electricity bills without maintaining facilities or providing new infrastructure.
I'll be coming there to exploit us. They call their boys to come and exploit us. Every month, in house, we pay nothing less than 10, 15, 20,000 naira in the month. And if you do not pay it, they will just cut off your light. And we are telling them that you give us a prepaid meter.
We have even procured a transformer, and that transformer, they are not coming to install it. So how long can we continue to cope under this condition? The minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira, and they are bringing crazy bills like 60,000, like 80,000 every month.
I want to refer you to the NEC website. Every customer, whether you are metered or you are not metered, if you are not metered, there's a cap ceiling where every customer has to be metered. For every customer that belongs to every disco, there's a ceiling upon which we cannot be above, and that's what we maintain.
While reacting, the spokesman for the distribution company Akure branch, Michael Barnabas, explained that customers without meters are billed based on the feeder and tariff band they are linked to. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Let's take a moment and be back with more reports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Now, the Ogun State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Afolabi Afuakpe, has declared that the Governor Dapo Abiodun-led administration has not tampered or taken a dime from the statutory allocations from the federal government to local government in the state. Afolabi equally declared that local governments under the incumbent administration of the states have performed better than they did in the last 10 years. The Commissioner reaffirmed that these While addressing the local government chairman shortly after the Joint Account Allocation Committee meeting for the month of August held on Monday at the Obas Complex in Abeokuta, the state capital, Afolabi, who explained that the clarification became necessary in the face of allegations in some quarters that the state government was shortchanging the local government on the allocation, said without the support of the state government, local government administration would have collapsed totally. It disclosed that from July 2019 and March 2021, local government in the state received a sum of 63.7 billion naira from the Federation account, while the total expenditure in the period under review was over 70 billion naira.
Our statutory payment, because at least we will have done about minimum of some things from this. One, nobody is complaining of not getting salary at local government level. That means we will pay salary for local government staffs. We must pay salary of primary school teacher. Nobody is complaining about that. We must pay pension, monthly pension on regular basis because nobody is complaining. And we must pay our money for traditional council on monthly basis. I'm challenging the person that alleged us.
And now to other stories. In a bid to reduce the prevalence of drug abuse in the state and make youth productive, Oyo State government has partnered the National Association of Parent and Proprietary Medicines, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and National Agency for Food, Drugs Administrative Control. Executive Assistant to Governor Makinde on Administration, Idowu Ogedengbe, decried the rate of drug abuse, adding that all hands must be on the deck towards redeeming the image of the state in the area of drug abuse. Correspondent Kunojo reports that the Special Assistant to Governor Makinde on Community Relations, Josiah Olufemi, said the state government decided to partner the agencies, being the major channel for the distribution of drugs. Now, also the Assistant Commandant NDLEA, Adan Edo, charged members of the association to understand their critical roles in the society and continue to cooperate within the provisions of laws guiding their practice.
You will escape and you will make easy money. If you still find a way of locating you, the consequences will affect you one way or the other. So let's all join hands to stamp this issue. Let's join hands to stamp it out of our society. Let's be committed. Report. If you see something, say something. If there are people that are members of the association that are not keeping to the rules.
To this end, we are gathered here today to seek the commitment of NAFNET through this one-day seminar on Oyo State government effort towards reducing or eliminating the menace that is associated with drug and substance abuse.
Being a member of NAFNET, it has placed on you severe responsibilities that you may not know. The last speaker here was talking about the increasing number of madmen on our streets. I want to implore you. The media cannot do it alone. The NAFDAC cannot do it alone. Try to stop this. The members of NAFDAC, being the limited doctors and pharmacists to the average local village man, it then means that if there is substance abuse in those villages, we will also look up to NAFDAC members.
The Special Assistant on Community Relations said the state government will continue to play its roles towards making the state safe of illicit drugs, while one of the keynote speakers, Bukola Agumbiade, urged members to support the initiative of the state government.
We are bringing everybody on board. It will be easy for the government of Oyo State to achieve our desired goal, which is a drug and substance-free state. This is part of the Project Yeri, which is Youth Empowerment Rewind Initiative. We have a lot of young people who are into substance abuse, and we are trying our best towards demand reduction.
by educating everybody why you need to be healthy and stay off drugs. And also make sure they don't just sell drugs to anybody. Make sure there's a need for it and lecture them about whatever side effects they might feel. Because there are times when you give patient drugs, what happens is they discover that it's giving them strength. They are discovering some other things you didn't tell them. So by the time they discover it, they now start abusing it. So NAPMED can do better by educating their customers, their patients, before even giving drugs to them.
And now, a coalition of civil society organizations has called for a 40% quota system for women across the 18 accredited political parties for the 2023 general elections. The coalition made the advocacy during a media interaction held in Abuja. They expressed displeasure over poor representation of women and girls in every facet of the country's economy, demanding that women be fielded as governorship candidates and national chairpersons of political parties. Now, calling on women to register in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, the group urged women to join political parties to enable them stand elections. The women also demanded all states of the Federation to domesticate the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Bill to protect the rights of every person, women and girls inclusive.
The Nigerian Feminist Forum hereby calls for 1. All political parties make women their national chairpersons, especially the top rated. We believe this will help address the violence and patriarchy women experience in political parties. We have done something for 22 years. It hasn't paid off. It is time to try a new process. Simply put, they have failed us.
If you look at the VAP Act, Section 23, I'd like you to come and pick it and look at it yourself. This is the VAP Act of FCT, yes. And all the structures of power are here. So why can't we hold them accountable for violating the political rights of women? The political parties, executive, legislature, and judiciary.
Now, officers of the Ogun State Police Command say 2 members of a suspected kidnap syndicate met their Waterloo on Sunday, 29th August, where they engaged them in a gun battle in a Tory area of Ewekoro local government. The 2 suspects met their Waterloo when policemen at the divisional headquarters received an information that some armed hoodlums with face masks were sighted hibernating in a bush at the back of ICT Polytechnic. The police publications officer, Bimbola Yemi, explained that bearing the fact that many suspected kidnappers had been traced to the same forest, the anti-robbery team of the division was quickly dispatched to fish out the hoodlums. He said when the bandits sighted the policemen, the gang opened fire on them and the policemen engaged them in a gun battle which lasted for about 40 minutes. The PPRO added that at the end of the encounter, 2 members of the syndicate were gunned down while others escaped with varying degrees of gunshot injuries. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Let's switch gears for a moment and join our international decks for more stories. Please stay with us.
Welcome to news from the international scene. Several rockets have been fired at Kabul's international airport a day before the deadline for the U.S. troops to pull out of Afghanistan ends. The White House, which confirmed the attack, said the evacuation operations at the airport were not interrupted, adding that U.S. President Joe Biden was briefed about the latest rocket attack on Monday morning aimed at the Hamid Karzai Airport in Kabul. A U.S. official told newsmen that some of the rockets were intercepted by a missile defense system. The ISIL-ISIS armed group claimed responsibility for the attack. The group's national news said on its Telegram channel, adding that 6 Katyusha rockets were fired at the airport. The attack comes a day after the U.S. forces launched second drone attack in Afghanistan after Tuesday's suicide bombing at the airport that left nearly 200 people dead. At least 20 U.S. troops were also among those killed. The The U.S. said it had wanted to take out suicide bombers in the latest drone attack in Kabul, but media reports say several children were killed in the incident that destroyed a car laden with explosives. Moving to North America, Hurricane Ida battered the southern U.S. state of Louisiana and plunged New Orleans into darkness, killing at least one person. Ida slammed into the Louisiana coast as a Category 4 storm, but weakened into a tropical storm on Monday. More than 1 million people in Louisiana and Mississippi were without power. President Joe Biden described Ida as life-threatening and declared Louisiana a disaster area. The hurricane was compared with Katrina, which devastated Louisiana exactly 16 years ago to the day, but it remains to be seen how much damage Ida inflicted. The storm is expected to continue weakening as it moves over land with a predicted track taking it north over the central United States before veering eastward, reaching the mid-Atlantic region by Wednesday. John Bel Edwards, governor of Louisiana, ordered people to stay home to avoid the dangerous situation in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. While Ida is sure to take a toll on the energy, chemical and shipping industries that have major hubs along the Gulf Coast, the impact on the overall U.S. economy should be modest, economists have suggested. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, said the disruption caused by Ida will likely lead down to downgrade its forecast for annual U.S. economic growth in July-September quarter by a few tenths of the percentage point. But that economic loss could be reversed in the final quarter of the year as a result of the rebuilding from the hurricane's damage that will likely follow. And to South America, bank robbers trapped hostages on the top of their getaway vehicles after a raid in the southern Brazilian city of Aracatuba. Police said that at least 3 people were killed, among them one suspect. Officials said more than 50 people took part in the heist, blocking off roads with burning vehicles and placing explosive devices across the city. Large-scale bank robberies have become more frequent in recent years, with hostages used as human shields. A gang of heavily armed men attacked 3 banks in the center of Aracatuba in the early hours of Monday. After the robbery, the gang took a number of hostages and surrounded the local military police station. Gang members also blocked key ways road into the city by setting cars alight, local media reported. The first has a person tied to his roof and another to his hood, while in the second, a person can be seen crouching on the hood. CCTV footage posted by another Twitter user showed multiple cars driving through the city, some with people tied to the hood, while another person can be seen holding up his hands while standing up through the van's sunroof. Many residents reported hearing gunfire and even the sound of explosions. Police have confirmed the deaths of one suspect and 2 other people, but did not release further information about how they died. 3 others were injured. They also said 2 suspects have been arrested. It is not clear how much money the attackers took, but some videos purport to show a resident gathering back notes on the street. Finally, on the international scenes, moving to Asia, online gamers under the age of 18 will only be allowed to play for an hour on Fridays, weekends and holidays, China's video game regulator has said. The National Press and Publication Administration told state-run news agency that game playing would be only allowed between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It also instructed gaming companies to prevent children playing outside these times. Earlier this month, a state media outlet branded online games spiritual opium. Inspections of online gaming companies will also increase to check that the time limits are being enforced, the regulator said. Earlier rules have limited children's online game playing to 90 minutes per day, rising to 3 hours on holidays. The move reflects a long-running concern about the impact of excessive gaming on the young. A month prior to the latest restrictions, an article published by the state-run Economic Information Daily claimed many teenagers had become addicted to online gaming and it was having a negative impact on them. The article prompted significant falls in the value of shares in some of China's biggest online gaming firms. In July, Chinese gaming giant Tencent announced it was rolling out facial recognition to stop children playing between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. The move followed fears that children were using adult ID to circumvent rules. And that's all from news from the international scene.
And now to wrap things off, let's join the entertainment desk for more stories.
Celebrity Zone. 5 things you should know about Don Jazzy's ex-wife, Michelle Jackson. On Saturday, April 3rd, 2021, Nigerian music mogul Don Jazzy shocked fans and Nigerians in general when he revealed that he was once married. Don Jazzy revealed he was once married in London to a certain lady, Michelle Jackson. He also shared a photo from his secret court or registry marriage in London. 1. Do you know Michelle has a son? Jackson has a cute son, even though the identity of the son's father is not known. We don't know if it's Don Jazzy's child or not. In March 2019, she shared a photo of her son via her Instagram page and had some cute words for him. 2. She is 40 years old. Michelle Jackson is 40 and she's turning 41 in October 2021. The mother of one took to her Instagram page back in 2020 to celebrate her birthday. 3. She's a writer and a model. Michelle is quite a multi-talented young lady. She's a writer, and when she's not writing, she's busy handling modeling gigs. That's not all. The 40-year-old mom is also a fashion brand ambassador. 4. She is older than Don Jazzy. When Don Jazzy announced that he was once married, he said he got married at the age of 20 and separated when he was 22. The music star turned 38 in late 2020, while Jackson turned 40 in that same year. 5. She resides in the United Kingdom. Jackson resides in the United Kingdom, where she got married to Don Jazzy almost 18 years ago. Now, those are the 5 things I bet you they know about Don Jazzy's ex-wife, Michelle Jackson.
And with that, we conclude our news at this time. But for more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Galaxy TV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818 666 669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. That's your Galaxy TV News at this time. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, thank you so much for your company. We urge you to please keep safe. I am Kelly Egiga, and I will see you again next time. Bye.
Two former champions collide for flyweight gold as the king of the strikers